I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. It's well, I didn't really write a script for this. I just kind of wanted to spit out what I liked and what I didn't like about the movie, to be honest. And I hope you guys enjoy this honest review of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Okay, first of all, spoiler warning. Spoiler warning all the way through. Because my review has to be like I want to talk about the spoilers a lot because like some of the stuff, like some of my complaints about this movie is it's big spoiler heavy stuff. But first things first, I love the animatronics. I did. I thought they looked fantastic. I loved the puppet the most. It was the most scariest one. It looked cool. It all this stuff, even though it was, barely in the movie. It really was. It was barely in the movie. It did like the possession thing where it can possess people or crawl into other animatronics, which I don't think is in the games. I mean, it crawls into Helpy, but like I don't think it's ever not Helpy. I'm sorry, Lefty, but I don't think it's ever like possessed people or anything. I'm not entirely sure. I've been out of the FNAF lore lately, so I have no clue if that is true or not. But it's yeah, it's barely in the movie. Uh, Another thing I really liked is the opening with the yellow rabbit, and I was very surprised what they did in this opening of the film. Where yeah, well, actually, I just want to say this in this opening, this girl, the main character, the main ghost, the main antagonist, I guess is like she witnessed some kid, like this little boy, get kidnapped and lured into the back room. And she's running around, she's asking all the adults, like, help me, please. I just saw somebody, lure this kid into the back room. And all the adults in the movie are like, get away from me, kid. Fuck, kid. Ew, gross, a child. Go away, the adults are talking. Like, what? That's not how people would react. It's it's just like this alternate weird universe where just all the adults are like, what? Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. And then like she goes into the back room. The yellow rabbit. She tries to help the boy, and as she's trying to run away, the yellow rabbit's following her. And she leads to the front stage, and it's revealed that the yellow rabbit has stabbed her in the back like 3 times. And the boy escapes, goes to his mom, and she falls through the trapdoor, which then it has a really cool shot where she falls down and like the puppet catches her, and the puppet like raises up from like the underground and has her dead body in his hands, and like the lights are all over her, and people are looking at like her corpse and the puppet holding it. But then later on in the movie, they're all like, "Yeah, it was labeled as an accident." What? She literally, and so when she like when it's revealed that she got stabbed, she like falls down, and then she does like a backside turn to like the crowd of people watching them, and you can see 3 giant red blood stains. But yeah, it's an accident. It was an accident. She fell through, snapped her neck. It's so ridiculous. Um, uh, That's another thing. The main villain of the movie is that little girl, is the puppet, and her whole thing is like she wants to murder every adult, every parent. Like she just like that's her goal, is just to kill every parent. There's no other goal than that. There is like a second secret villain that is really dumb, really really dumb. I hated that ending so much. Um, I guess since we're talking about spoilers, this is a whole spoiler review. Um, that ending where so I got to talk about this. So in the beginning of the film, maybe like the 20 like 30 minute mark, I don't know, around there. there's this paranormal investigator style show, and these paranormal investigators go in, and it's probably the best scene in the movie, to be honest. Like, they're getting picked off one by one. Like, one of the people die in like the most, like, I was like, in a brutal fashion. I was surprised. Like, they get lifted up, and then like they get their like body chewed into bits, and like it's, you don't see it, but like on the little camcorder he was holding, you see like his body fall to the floor, and like guts and bits and pieces of him also fall down. Nothing too extreme, just like one organ and his dead corpse, but still, it's pretty like, wow, that's in my FNAF movie. I mean, the child being murdered at the beginning was also like, wow, you actually went there. Good for you. I was surprised. Um, no, so like all these people go in, they're getting picked off one by one, and McKenna Grace's character goes downstairs, and she sees the music box, and the first thing she does is like switch it off. She switched off this music box, which opens up the gift box, like in the game. It opens it up, and the puppet like comes out and like takes over her body, and it makes her all look like weird, and like it gives her like this like glowing eyes, and the puppet's makeup, and the long tentacle arms. It looks cool at first, but after I realized that, most of the when the movie's progressing, and you realize like, oh, we're not gonna get to see the puppet anymore. That is the puppet. This possessed version of people is the puppet. Well, granted, you do get to see the puppet time to time, but it's very rare, and I don't know. I wanted to see more of him. Anyway, so there's another person in that building with them, and he's like this security guard, and you can already tell he's evil. You can already tell like he's this evil dude. He has an evil grin. He has this evil like eyebrow thing. It's all over his face. Like, yeah, I'm a bad guy. And then, oh no, he's a bad guy because he's all like, ha 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 ha. Yeah, killed him. So it's like, what? And this dude's like only has like 4 scenes, and he escapes the movie for he doesn't show up until like the very end of the film, the very end. And yeah, the and then so let me get to the ending, since I already talked about this. At the end of the film, this guy who's only been in the movie for like maybe like 4 scenes shows back up, and he's like, "Yep, I'm the evil mastermind behind this. I was helping the puppet, and I was just because I want to help my dad's legacy. That's right. I'm Michael Afton." And then Vanessa's all like, "That's my brother. I forgot to mention this. I'm sorry, Mike." Yep, I'm her brother, and I'm want to continue on helping William Afton. Uh, and then, and then Freddy Faz. So like early in the movie, uh, Mike goes back to the original location because Abby's in danger, and he's all like, "Hey, original animatronics, I need your help. Please, like, come to my house, please." And the other animatronics are like, "Okay, what's up? All right, let's pull up, let's pull up, let's pull up on them." And they do. And at the end of the film, the bad guy's doing his monologue, and then all of a sudden, Freddy's all like, "Not if I had anything to say about it." And I do. And the animatronics start beating the shit out of the toy animatronics, and it's not even like a fair fight. They just fucking murder them. They just fucking rip them to shreds. And it's these like old models that are supposed to be very enhanced, very technology like heavy, are outdone by like these like very primitive versions of those characters. Because in the movie they're like, yeah, the second location, yeah, it was a downgrade, but it's fine. Yeah, the franchise location, that's what they called it. It's a downgrade. See, like, I don't know, I just really thought, and then the whole plot of like Michael Afton being the bad guy, even though in the games he's a good guy, was kind of also like, as a FNAF fan, I was like, what? What? What are you doing? What are you doing, movie? Honestly, that was really. And then, uh, before all this, uh, I think Possessed Abby, it looked really silly. A lot of the movie feels like a Disney, like a Nickelodeon, like Halloween movie that you would see like in every October. And they even have like, they even have like a dialogue just like it, dude. I don't know who wrote this movie. Um, there is a part in this movie where Mike does play FNAF for reals. He does play FNAF 2. And in the game, it makes sense, right? Where he puts on the mask and, the animatronics go away. But in movie form, it looks really, really stupid. It looks so silly. He's like, the animatronics show up and he puts on like this big mask to trick him, to make him go away. And it's like at least like 10 minutes of this, of Mike playing actual Five Nights at Freddy's. He's putting on the mask, he's looking at the cameras, not the cameras, but he's looking at the monitor. He's doing all this stuff. Um and then he finds like a control thing inside the computer that's like an off switch for the animatronics, and he switches them off. Granted, it works for like a tiny bit because there's like another party involved, I guess, that maybe switches them back on. They never explain how they come back on, but the animatronics, but Mike just switches off the animatronics and it's over. And that's another thing I want to talk about. These animatronics, they kind of just barely show up. Like, I don't think they have a lot of screen time, and they don't talk a lot. They do not talk a lot, except for Toy Chica. This movie really loves Toy Chica a lot. She has the most dialogue. She's like the first character to show up and say hi and like kill somebody. Everybody else, like Toy Freddy or Toy Bonnie, they have scenes, but they don't have scenes like Toy Chica. They don't. They're like the least favorite. As a matter of fact, I think Toy Chica is the only character in the movie, like the only animatronic, the only toy animatronic to get a kill in this film. The only one. And the rest of them try to get a kill in this movie, but are shut off, or like something happens to them where they can't fulfill it. Like Freddy breaks into this old couple's house and he's about to kill him, and he's like, he's right there, but then Vanessa somehow, in some way, randomly, at this, like, I mean, she's already driving to that location, but like she has mangled on the car, and she like presses on the brakes or like crashes into something, which sends like Mangold flying through the window, crashing into Freddy and these poor people's house. Like, there's just this random old couple who has this random woman crashing her car into like the curb, and having the animatronics fucking flying towards the window and crashing into Freddy. And then or like Bonnie. I think if they went through with the Bonnie kill, it would have probably been like my most like brutal scene in the movie, or the most dark, because like Bonnie breaks into this little girl's house, and he's telling the little girl that he's gonna be right back, and he's gonna go deal with a problem. He's gonna go kill her mom, and he goes downstairs and he grabs like a something out of that. It looks like a screwdriver, but it comes out of a block. I don't know. I think it's an ice pick. And he's about to kill the mom, and like the little girl's like, "No, don't do it, please, don't do it, do it." And Bonnie's like, she doesn't love you. She doesn't love you like I do. Like, move out of the way. And I think if Bonnie went through with the kill, I think it would have been like the darkest kill, in my opinion. Just like, it would have been like, wow, okay, that's pretty brutal. But no, Bonnie gets turned off before he can kill anybody. He does. Um, yeah, like most of the kills don't happen because the animatronics. It's just something happens to the animatronics and it just ends there. Um, uh, there's a lot of cool Easter eggs in this movie as well. Like I think the baby Easter egg, while cool, makes no sense because in the like if this was like a game, right, it would make like a ton of sense. But it's not, you know. Yeah, baby is just randomly there. Baby just appears in this movie. It's never explained who the character is. Nothing. As a fan, you know who this is. It's a like that's a huge character. But if you're a common person, you're gonna be like, who's that? What is that? Why is who the fuck this clown looking girl? This giant robot animatronic. Granted, it's in a dream sequence, but still, you gotta be like, people are not gonna be like, oh, I know who that is. I know who that is. That's baby. Yep, that's baby right there. Because it's never explained. A lot of the stuff in this movie, it's just not explained. Unless you're a FNAF fan, then you're gonna be like, oh, I know why Mike. I know why the animatronics are not attacking him when Mike puts on the mask. I know who that character is. You know, it's just like it has the same problem as the first movie. The biggest problem that I think, and is that it panders so hard to the fan base. It's dangling keys. It is dangling keys. Like, ooh, look, he's playing Finance Freddy's too. Oh, look. A reference to FNAF 6. The reference to like the speech in FNAF 6. Ooh, look. It's Shadow Bonnie. Look, it's baby. Look, it's baby. And then the FNAF fans are just fucking eating it up. They're eating this movie up. Being like, this is the greatest movie of all time. So the baby thing is kind of dumb. And then surprisingly, there's not a lot of like Easter eggs in this movie. Just baby Shadow Bonnie, and that's it. I was expecting more. Like the first movie had like a bunch. The first movie had like Sparky the dog. It had yeah, it had Sparky the dog. It had what was the? It had Shadow Freddy. It had it had Balloon Boy as a cameo. It had there's a lot. There was a lot. I can't remember them all to be honest, but there was enough cameos from the games and stuff like Easter eggs. I think El Chip was in it too, like an El Chip reference. Also, this movie, in the second movie, doesn't have a lot of YouTuber cameos. The only one that I noticed was Corey Kenshin. Like Corey Kenshin comes back for this movie, and when I went to go see this in the theater, my entire auditorium full of FNAF fans. They're dressed up in the costumes and they had T-shirts, and nobody was like cheering for certain moments. And I get that this is not important to the movie, but it's important to like it's important when the fan base is just dead silent. Because usually fan bases are usually the FNAF fan base will be cheering their head off. Because when I saw the first movie, 2 years ago, I saw like opening night or something, and the movie, like the theater was packed full of FNAF fans, and they were cheering for every little thing, every little joke. They were like, it felt like if I turned around, they'd be eating each other, pulling each other's arms out, like pulling each other's hairs out and stuff, because how excited they are to see all this stuff. But in the second movie, people were just silent. There wasn't a lot happening. Um, And that's until Corey Kenshin showed up, and people just started clapping, cheering, and all this stuff. But the cameo from Baby, the cameo from Shadow Bonnie, um, yeah, nobody didn't say anything. Um, Nobody pointed it out. Nobody was like freaking out. And then at the end of the film, they all like got up and started cheering. They were singing the song. They were. It was so. Like I get that this is not important, but like when you're watching like the FNAF movie with a group of big fan base, like dedicated fans like that, and they're not clapping, I feel like there's a problem. I really feel like there's a problem. But I don't know. Oh, the audience score is like 88, and all the FNAF fans are like being like, "This is the greatest movie of all time, and it's way better than the first movie." Granted, this movie deserves that 11% Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's gone down more. It really does deserve that Rotten Tomatoes score. Um, Another thing that I don't like is and it's in it like it uses the lore of the games, which is fine. I mean, that's what I kind of want. But at the same time, they use like the lore of like the animatronics can't leave the place because they have a protocol thing that if they leave, they'll be shut down. And the puppet in this movie like tricks Abby into like unlocking all the animatronics and releasing them, which like the puppet forces Vanessa to tell Abby about that. And no, the sorry, oh my god, the puppet tells Vanessa to tell him about it or tell her about it, so she can tell Abby to what she needs to like press on the keyboard. And my question to that is, how does Vanessa know this very important fucking this code, this very important code that releases the animatronics into the streets? How does she know that? How does she know? The location closed down when she was a child. She would have not known that. I don't. I don't get it. Did her dad tell her? D- Is why? Why? I don't know. I don't know. This movie's really not kind of dumb. Um, and then this movie's unintentionally funny. Like there's scenes in this movie where I wasn't supposed to laugh, but I did because how goofy it was, especially this dream sequence where Vanessa is like, she's like, she goes up to her dad and she's like, "I'm not afraid of you anymore. I'm not scared of you anymore." And then her dad starts speed walking towards her, and it's really funny because it's not scary. It's nothing like that. It's just like her dad speed walks towards her, and with a very straight back, like he's like he's just like an upset parent, and she freaks the fuck out and she's screaming all the way downstairs, and she's banging on the door, and she's like, "Help me, help me, help me, help me, help me, oh my god, oh shit." But it's so goofy because she comes into the dream world being like, "I'm gonna make sure my dad realizes I'm not scared of him anymore." And my brother just speed walks towards her, and she mentally collapses. It is it's pretty stupid. It reminds me of the scene from Uncle Grandpa, where like Uncle Grandpa's being chased by somebody, I forgot who, and he like runs to like the fucking RV door and he's banging on it. It's like that. It's literally like that. Uh, Another thing I thought was really funny is like Mike playing Five Nights at Freddy's 2, where he's putting on the mask and it just looks so goofy. It looks so goofy. Um, the movie's just unintentionally funny for no reason. Uh, what else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah. I think every character in this movie, every character that's not a main character doesn't act like a regular person. They don't act like human beings. Like there's this teacher character, like Abby's teacher is just like this big asshole, and you know he's gonna die. You already know he's gonna die. He's just like this huge asshole who's like basically like a weird bully, and he breaks Abby's like science experiment like in front of her, like actually shatters it. It's like, who the fuck acts like this? What the fuck? Or like the opening of the movie, like earlier, what I said, when all the adults are telling this little girl who's screaming for help that this little boy was just kidnapped, are like, "Go away, shoo, go away." The parents are talking. Kid, you're crazy. You're crazy. And then one guy's like, "I don't care. You're not my daughter." So like, it's especially during the '80s when the whole like stranger danger style like big boom is happening. You know, you would think like these parents would be like, "Oh my god, oh my god, where did you see them? Where did you see them? Where did you see this guy take them?" Like an actual person, but no. Uh, yeah, yeah. This is this movie is just kind of, how do I put this? It is so bad that it's actually kind of good. It is really bad and really funny bad that it's just kind of in the lukewarm area of being like, if I was gonna watch this again, like I would want to watch it with friends and laugh at it more than anything. Um, there's more to this movie that is kind of stupid, like the idea that uh this protocol thing to let them outside, and like the whole toy animatronics don't make any sense, to be honest, because they have like settings in this computer later. You like figure that out later on, and like they have the settings to like leave the pizzeria. Why? Who programmed that? Programmed that? Um, there's just like there's a lot of stuff. Also, the puppet is like a character that's like, who the this look like a good design to put in a kid's like Chuck E. Cheese style place. Like this weird, creepy, long fingered like puppet thing. Like, why is it there? Excuse me, sorry. Um, yeah, that's really about it. That's all I really wanted to rant about. I know I probably didn't focus on a lot of stuff, but that's that's what I mostly wanted to talk about today. Yeah, and I saw the movie. Uh, my final thoughts is, if you liked it, that's great. I like that you liked it. That's awesome. But for me, it was, if the first movie was like a two, no, if the first movie was a 1 star, this is a 2 star. Yeah, if the first movie was a 1 star, this is a 2 star. Like, would I go back to this movie? Maybe. Maybe in the future I'll rewatch it with like friends or somebody. I don't know. But if you like FNAF and you love that first movie, this movie's up your alley. Because there's no change. There's no change. As a matter of fact, I think it's kind of sometimes. And you know what? No, I won't say that, because that's not really true. I think that there is better stuff in this movie than the first movie. Um. Anyways, thank you for watching, and uh, I'll see you guys next time. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
We're waiting every night to finally roam and invite newcomers others to play with us. For many years we've been all alone. We're forced to be still and play the same songs we've known since that day. An imposter took our life away. Now we're stuck.